What is up, fellow YouTubers? My name's Mike. Welcome to the MDH Automotive channel. Thanks for tuning in. As the title says, I want to talk about the new C7 Corvette ZR1 and why in the world anybody would want to buy one. Now, let me just start out with this little disclaimer right now. This is just going to be my opinion, my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. You can have a difference of opinion. Absolutely, I encourage your comment and your thoughts and opinions, so please feel free to leave a comment down below. But again, this is just my thought, just my opinion. And that being said, let's get started. Now, anybody who knows me, anybody who watches my channel, who has tuned into my channel at least once, knows I'm a Corvette fan. Ever since I bought my first Corvette back in 2010, which was a 2000 base model Corvette, I told myself I would always own a Corvette. I would never go without one, and I plan to continue having Corvettes in my life as long as I can still drive. Now, I have no experience with the C1 or C2 models, although I would love to own one someday. I hope to have maybe one of each. Really would like to have a C2, and if I ever found a good trade or a good deal on a C1 or C2 and could make it work out, I would absolutely add one to the shop here. But at this point in time, I haven't ridden in one, I haven't driven one, so I have no experience with any of them. My basically experience is limited to C3 and up. I have not owned a C3 personally, but my mom had a 1978 silver anniversary Corvette that she had for a long time. I rode around in it as a kid. After I got my license, I drove it up until she sold it back in like 2006, 2007, something like that. So, and it was a cool car. I was never a huge fan, but it was a cool car. My buddy Mark has his C3. It is a 4-speed. I think that makes it a lot more fun. I do enjoy that car. I've driven around the block a couple of times, and quite honestly, I like the car. I like the way it looks. As far as the Corvettes that I have owned 3 C4s. My favorite being my 92 convertible 6-speed manual. That was just a lot of fun, and I think I'm just more drawn to manuals when it comes to certain types of vehicles. I have had 4 C5s, 2 just the base regular Corvettes, and 2 Z06s. Both Z06s were a lot of fun. I have had 2 C6 Corvettes, a base model Corvette, and then this C6 Z06 sitting behind me. And then I also, for a short time, owned a 2016 C7 Z06, which was an absolutely amazing car. If you guys don't know the story behind that, I love the car. It was amazing. It was absolutely everything I could ask for in a vehicle. But I got to thinking, I've got a car that's a $70,000 car, $75,000 car, which is what I paid for at the time, and it's just sitting here. I don't drive it that much. It made more sense in my mind to go ahead and get rid of that. I ended up replacing it with the C6 Z06, and I also bought a 2015 Challenger Scat Pack in Sublime Green, which I love. I would not change that decision at all. So let's talk about the ZR1. Amazing car. Now, I have not seen one in person. I have not ridden in one. I have not driven one. I've only seen a few YouTube videos and read the specs about them, but they are an amazing car. 755 horsepower, north of 700 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, I know how the C7 Z06 was to drive, so I can only imagine with the extra 100 horsepower and what, 50 or 60 pound-feet of torque. It's got to be just an amazing car to drive. But that being said, if I have my choice, if I'm looking at it, from a financial point of view, you're going to spend $140,000 for a brand new ZR1 out the door off your, from your dealership. That same Z06 comparably set up and equipped is going to be around $100,000. So there's $40,000 right now, right there, that you can leave in your pocket. $40,000 is a lot of money. Now let's take $15,000 of that and put into modding the C7 Z06. It's a no-brainer. I mean, the C7 Z06, with that kind of mods done to it, is going to be right there comparable in horsepower, performance, around a track, down a track, 0 to 60, 0 to 100, whatever you want to talk about, to the ZR1. There's just no two ways about it, and you're going to have $25,000 in your pocket. Where I come from, $25,000 is a lot of money. I mean, my first thought is I'd go out and buy another car with that $25,000. What you guys would do with it's totally up to you, but that's just the way my brain works. So I would definitely go for the Z06. I mean, all things being equal, it's kind of the same thing that I did with the C7 Z06 and this. I figured I'm getting 95 and now really 100% of the performance with this car versus that car, and saving money. It just makes good sense. Now, if you're like me and you don't need to have a brand new vehicle, which I don't need to drive one off the showroom floor, I'm okay with the other guy taking the depreciation and buying something that's slightly used, go out and buy yourself a used C7 Z06. I picked up my C7 Z06 with just under 2,000 miles on it. I paid $75,000 out the door, tax, license, everything, driving away. And you know, let's just say you spend $75,000 on a used Z06, which you could probably get one even cheaper than that, but just for round numbers, we'll go with $75,000. Again, stick that $15,000 into the Z06, you're into it for $90,000. You just save $50,000 and you got a car that's going to perform as well, if not better, than the ZR1. So in my opinion, much the same as it was with the C6 generation, same thing with the C7 generation, the best bang for the buck, the better bargain is going to be the Z06. I think it's a no-brainer. I know the specs that I had read on the C7 Z06 versus a C7 ZR1, 0 to 60, the ZR1 only gets there a tenth faster and only gets down the quarter mile about 3/10 faster. So while, you know, it's notable, you're going to feel it in the seat of your pants, it's not huge. In my opinion, it's not $40,000 huge. So again, that's just my opinion. Like I said, take it for what it's worth, guys. This is just a video that I've been thinking about and wanted to throw out there. Best bang for the buck, really, I think, is a Z06. And as always, get what you can afford. You know, if you want to own the biggest, baddest production Corvette ever made, then definitely go out and pop for the ZR1. You won't be disappointed. If you're planning on doing some major mods and really want to get huge horsepower and huge performance, then definitely the ZR1 is going to be a better platform to start with, as always. But like with me, for example, you know, I had the C7 Z06, opted to go with the C6 and put a little money in my pocket. Still, after doing mods with this car, I mean, this car is amazing. It's got a ton of performance. I'm quite confident that it's every bit as fast as my C7 Z06, and you know, for the type of driver that I am and my skill level, it's all the car and more that I'll ever need. So like I said, just my 2 cents, guys. Take it for what it's worth. But you know, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, stopping in for the first time or what have you, please subscribe to this channel, full of automotive content. That's what it's all about here. I always leave my Instagram and my P.O. box in the description below, so feel free to hit me up there on Instagram or send me something to the P.O. box. I would appreciate it. And with that, guys, God bless, take care, have an absolutely outstanding day.